last of the Cybertronian historians. I will give an account for every transformer ever built. The history of Optimus Prime. The Golden Age of Cybertron. Optimus Prime began his life as a young robot named Orion Pax, a simple dock worker during the Golden Age of Cybertron, 9 million years ago, with a girlfriend named Ariel and a best friend named Dion. At the time, a new breed of robot had recently appeared on the planet. The ones with the new robot mode flight powers that made Orion idolize them. Unfortunately for Orion, when Megatron, the leader of the robots, approached him with inquiries about using one of the dock warehouses, Orion fell for the deception and he and Ariel were critically wounded. When Megatron and his forces then attacked in order to claim the energy stored there. Searching for someone to help them, the time-displaced Ariel bots took Orion and Ariel to the ancient robot Alpha Trion, who used them as first subjects for the new reconstruction process he had developed, rebuilding the frail Autobot frames into battle-hardy configurations. With this reconstruction, Orion Pax became Optimus Prime, the first of the Autobot warriors, who took the mantle of leadership as the civil war against Megatron and the Decepticons erupted, while Ariel was rebuilt into Elita 1, the commander of the Autobot resistance on Cybertron. As leader of the Autobots, Optimus headed up the Autobots' mission to search out new worlds with new resources of energy to revitalize the depleted Cybertron. However, shortly after the launch, the Autobots' craft was attacked by the Decepticon space cruiser and boarded by Megatron and the Decepticons. In an ensuing struggle, the G-forces of the nearby planet pulled both crafts down, and the Autobot ship crashed into a volcano, thrusting all occupants of the ship into emergency stasis. 4 million years later, in the Earth's year 1984 AD, a volcanic eruption jarred the ship's computer, Teletran 1, back to life, and it reactivated the Decepticons, programming them with new Earth-based disguise modes. As a petty parting gesture, Starscream fired upon the Autobot ship, creating a landslide that knocked Optimus Prime into the paths of the computer restoration beam, restoring him to life and beginning the war anew on Earth. Optimus was perpetually at the forefront of the actions throughout the early years of the war on Earth, usually confronting Megatron and in some rare instances being forced to team up with him for the greater good or the lesser evil. He has suffered his fair shares of battle scrapes, almost meeting his end when a vital Cosmotron component was critically damaged by the Decepticon jet Laserbeak, and suffering a severe though unfair defeat when Megatron challenged him to one-on-one combat while imbued with different powers of the Decepticons. Generally, Optimus acting in a commanding role as part of larger battles and events, but played prominent and solo roles in a few also. The year 1985. Megatron created a perfect duplicate of him, leaving the Autobots unable to differentiate between the two until the clone disregarded the safety of their human companions, Spike Witwicky, exposing the deception. That same year also saw Elita 1 captured by the Decepticons on Cybertron, and used to lure Optimus there alone. Although, knowing it was a trap, he ventured in solo and was defeated by the Decepticons and nearly destroyed, until Elita's stasis field powers froze time long enough for them to escape. Optimus was forced to seek out Alpha Trion to save the wounded Elita's life, and in the process rediscovered his forgotten connection to his creator. When Megatron created the Stunticons, Optimus decided to have the aerial bots created as a countermeasure, though Alpha Trion gave his life by merging with Vector Sigma to ensure their creation. The year 2005. While under the leadership of Optimus Prime, the Decepticons succeeded in seizing control of all of Cybertron over the course of the next 20 years, forcing the Autobots to operate from their new city on Earth and from 2 bases on Cybertron's moons. In the year 2005, Optimus Prime was stationed on Moonbase 1 and dispatched troops to Earth to acquire energy for an upcoming strike on Cybertron. The Decepticons, however, got wind of the plan and attacked the shuttle, killing all occupants. Their scheme was to use the shuttle as a surprise attack on Autobot City, an attack which would have succeeded if not for the distress call which summoned Optimus and support troops to Earth. Optimus Prime foresaw his battle with his arch-nemesis looming, deciding that the Decepticons must be stopped no matter the cost. Optimus engaged in a massive assault, killing or wounding Megatron's most elite warriors, including Soundwave and all of the Seekers minus Starscream. In the ensuing battle with Megatron, Optimus Prime sustained fatal injuries, but not before nearly destroying Megatron, turning the tide of battle and forcing the Decepticons to flee. Despite the efforts of Perceptor, Optimus could not be saved. Knowing that his time had come, he passed the matrix of leadership, and with it all leadership of the Autobots, into the hands of his old friend, the city commander, Ultra Magnus. With his last ounce of energy, he muttered, "Till all are one," then died, his life force becoming one with the ancient wisdom contained within the matrix. Later, when the young Autobot Hot Rod opened the matrix within the body of the Planet Eater Unicron, Hot Rod was configured into Rodimus Prime, the new leader of the Autobots. As this process happened, Optimus's voice was heard once more. The year 2006. Optimus Prime's body was entombed in a massive deep space mausoleum with many of the other fallen Autobots, but his corpse was desecrated by the Quintessons in 2006, when they reanimated it as part of an attempt to destroy the Autobots by using Optimus to lure their space fleet into a trap. However, the Matrix was able to purify Optimus of the Quintesson's influence, and he got the other Autobots clear while he piloted the flagship into the Quintesson's detonator, triggering the explosion of a nearby star. Optimus was believed to have been destroyed in the explosion, but in reality, before the flagship impacted with the detonator, his body was recovered from the craft by two human scientists, Jessica Morgan and Gregory Stofford. As their ship departed, it was coated in solar spores released by the explosion of the sun. Jessica's father, Mark Morgan, loathed the Autobots, and his hatred only grew when an attempt by a Decepticon to steal a heat-resistant alloy he developed resulted in Jessica being paralyzed. Stofford and Morgan reconstructed Optimus Prime's body in an attempt to use it as a delivery system for the spores, which introduced hatred and madness in order to destroy the Transformers. However, when they could not reanimate him, they used his body as a lure instead, bringing the Autobots to their lab, where they were infected as this hate plague proceeded to spread across the galaxy. Skylynx, acting under the last official orders of Rodimus Prime before he was infected, retrieved a Quintesson who fully restored Optimus to life. After being appraised of the situation, Optimus and Skylynx retrieved a half-dozen Autobots who had been badly damaged but were not infected with the plague. With the aid of some Quintessons who restored them, they were repaired and reactivated. Optimus decided he needed to retrieve the matrix of leadership from Rodimus, as only in its wisdom he could hope to find a solution to the plague. At this point, Jessica Morgan informed him of the heat-resistant alloy, but also it had been stolen by the Decepticons. Optimus led the other Autobots to Char, where he convinced Galvatron to turn it over to him. He and Skylynx managed to escape the infection and return to Earth. Coating himself in Morgan's heat-resistant alloy, Optimus forcibly reclaimed the Matrix from Rodimus. Journeying inside the Matrix, he learned about the origins of the plague from it, and learned that only wisdom could destroy the plague. Awakening, he unleashed the concentrated wisdom of the Matrix itself, which spread across the galaxy and wiped out the hate plague. Afterwards, Optimus resumed command of the Autobots. The year 2007. Optimus Prime began to suffer visions following the release of the Matrix energy, which foretold of a great transformation for Cybertron. Events began with the Decepticons' theft of the key to the plasma energy chamber, which forced Optimus to consult Alpha Trion within Vector Sigma. Learning that the Mega Computer had orchestrated events in order to restore Cybertron's golden age. However, under the command of Optimus Prime, the control of Cybertron was lost to the Decepticons. When the plasma energy chamber was opened and threatened to drive Earth's sun supernova, Spike, Witwicky, and the other organic nebulons who became involved in the conflict as a result of these events, were able to drain off the excess solar energy to revive Cybertron, with the Autobots winning back control of Cybertron. Thank you for watching the history of Optimus Prime. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till all are